you held that trade, you're looking at a $2,600 profit in 4 days, essentially since Monday afternoon, on about $6,000 in risk. Not to be outdone, we put on a one-day win bear call spread that's looking pretty good right now, the 167.5, 170. We placed that yesterday. That's looking to close today potentially for a $2,000 profit on $5,500 in risk. And then we have another trade on right now. We have a Facebook trade, a bear call spread. What was it? The 167.5. Let's take a look at Facebook. We put this on last week, the 167.5. 170, and look at that, looking right there. That one's looking at a $2,200 gain in 1 week as well. So folks, that if I'm doing my math here, nearly $7,000 in 3 trades in a week. We're looking really good. And check this out. Let me add another $1,000 to that. Yesterday, we looked to put on a bull put spread on VXX. I said, folks, volatility is about to come alive on Monday of this week. I said, I think this rally fades midweek. And I said, Thursday, Friday, I think the market gives it all back into the weekend. After we went through the 50-day moving average, I predicted we'd top out and we'd head back and either hit or go through the moving average, and I think we're going to chop from here, and that's exactly what we did. Folks, we're having an absolute blast here at Top Gun Options. If you want to check out what we do, for about half of next week, I'm going to open up the doors to our training squadron, and all you need to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/join OWS. That stands for Options Weapon School. Just head to this website, this webpage, go.topgunoptions.com/join OWS. And I'll tell you what, just for registering for our, was it 4 or 5 briefs next week? 1, 2, 3, 4 briefs next week. We'll give you a $45 value with our OPCL, the Options Pocket Checklist, and also a copy of our trade plan. Make sure you read this trade plan before you're in brief Monday night at 7. We're going to do a welcome on board brief at 7, and then 3 more live training and trading sessions the rest of the week. So you can see how in essentially 1 week, we're looking at $8,000 in gains. We're having an absolute blast trading this entire market. I was one of the only financial professionals to not only predict Donald Trump's election, but the market rally after that, and I also predicted the short volatility traders were going to get crushed. They did, and I also predicted that the FANG stocks were going to implode under the weight of their own limousine liberalism and their hubris, and they did. We're having a blast here, folks, so please register. This is free. I open up the doors to our squadron a couple times a year for potential new members, and this is where you want to be. Okay, here's our brief real quick. Oil's at 3-year highs here, folks, and of course that means the president's going to tweet something. Oil pulled back a little bit after the tweet, but oil's on a nice rally here. We should get energy earnings coming up over the next couple weeks. We have a Jan 20 position in ExxonMobil, which is looking pretty good. We had a nice climb schedule out of ExxonMobil recently, and like I said, we'd give some of this rise back before earnings. I think it's on April 25th. So the markets are lower. We're looking at weekly gains, though. We had a good, rip your face off rally out of Monday, a little less airspeed Tuesday, and then we stalled. If you look at my my brief from Wednesday, I said we're going to stall right here tomorrow, and yesterday we did. So we got, in our brief yesterday, I did an hour brief on how to get long volatility because I knew this was going to happen. Okay, this blue-collar climb off the 200-day moving average, I said, this is work. All this stuff was just extreme volatility, up 700, down 400, up, all sorts of craziness. I said this blue-collar climb, the fact that we didn't rally with rip-your-face-off earnings out of Goldman, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan was very, very worrying to me. That's a canary in the coal mine. Remember, financials and transports tend to lead this market, any market, into something good or potentially something bad. So the financials, I've been doing this for a quarter of a century, folks. I've never seen financial earnings this good in the history of me trading. And some of these, for example, JP Morgan, they've never in the history of the company reported such good earnings. What did the market do? It shrugged. That ain't a good sign, folks. And I predicted, let's take a look at the VIX, that volatility would come back to life here, and it has. So my prediction that 1920 would be the new resting heart rate is starting to look pretty damn good. Something's going to happen in the next 2 weeks to freak this market out, and we put on a VXX bull put spread yesterday. The 40.5, 39.5 out 2 weeks. We got that for, what was it, like 40 cents. No, I'm sorry, 50, whatever we got it at. It's up essentially 10 cents today, folks. And 10 times 100 contracts, you can do the math. It's a grand. I think we got 58 cents. I forget what we got filled on with that. So this trade on volatility, this bull put spread on VXX is looking great because as we predicted, vol was going to make a little bit of a comeback. Look at that. VXX is up 3%. Where's 1 o'clock yesterday? So here's about 1 o'clock yesterday. And there is VXX. So there's a nice climb schedule with that trade as well. Like I said, we're going to cover this all next week, so make sure you register. This shouldn't, and this is, we'll brief this as well. A little known indicator sees the VIX soaring to 40. Okay, so I predicted it's time to get long volatility. If you don't know how to do that, please register for our sessions next week, and I'll teach you that. Like I said, one of the only guys out there who also predicted that all these FANGs were going to implode. The only one that I said would be safe would be Amazon. We bailed out Amazon when Trump started attacking it, and then now the all clear sounded. That's why we got into our weekly options trade on Monday, and we're looking pretty damn good. Like I said, if you're still in that trade and you held it to Friday, let me get a line. This is it for Facebook. There's a slide for life. You know, privacy concerns. The liberals in the media will try and convince you that he did great testifying. He looked like Data from Star Trek. He had zero human emotion. The smiles were forced. I think he said, "That's a good question, Senator, and I'll get back to you, or my team will." He said he hired 10,000 people to monitor hate speech, and then when a senator asked him, "Can you define hate speech?" he said he didn't know, and that was a good question. And he also said that, well, we mainly hire from the Bay Area, and the Bay Area has a lot of liberals out there. So, you know, the two African-American women, whatever their name was, who got booted off of Facebook because they're a danger to the community, it's over with for the FANGs, folks. Facebook, the only way Facebook recovers is when he resigns. And I didn't say if, he's got to go. Same thing with Elon Musk. He's really starting to, just because somebody brought a company to market or had the great idea, it doesn't mean they can run it. Okay, so Tesla, that skipper needs to go. Zuckerberg needs to go. Just like WYNN, Steve WYNN from the casino had to go. We've been trading WYNN successfully for about 3 or 4 months. We were actually in a live trade brief when the scandal broke. Sold bear call spreads, bull put spreads, bear call spreads, a couple iron condors. We had one blowout this week, this week. But remember, folks, when you're up, 23 to 25 grand in trades up to this point, and you get one blown out iron condor for about 3 or 4 grand loss, you're still up net 21. So really good trading with WYNN. So as I said, folks, we're having a blast here. I got to get going because I want to make a kind of a Friday video on all these good positions for my members. But you can be a member. All you have to do is come next week by registering at go.topgunoptions.com/join OWS, Join Options Weapon School, and like I said, it's free. First name, last name, your email, and if you want to get text alerts, so obviously you don't have to be anchored to your computer every day of the week. We send out text alerts whenever we open a trade, close a trade, look to adjust it, or just to provide some situational awareness. If you want a demonstration of getting a text alert next week, you can give us your cell phone number. Obviously, we don't do. Isn't that incredible? Your number's on the do not call list, and my cell phone still rings daily with that stuff. We don't do any of that shit, folks. So trust me. All right, I got to run. I got an active afternoon of trading, and just feeling pretty damn good. We're doing extremely well here at TGO. I'll teach you how to trade volatility. I'll teach you how to trade some names that aren't necessarily moving at all with this craziness. Okay. And like I said, on Monday I predicted the all clear had sounded for Amazon. There it is right there. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and here's today. So look at that. Look at that prediction. And we actually put on a bull put spread on Wednesday on Amazon in the accelerated retirement program that's also up about $1 grand. So we're looking pretty good. We have an everything isn't sunshine and lollipops, folks. We have an SPX bull put spread out a couple weeks that isn't looking so good. But if you remember, and this is for my members, remember when I placed that trade, I said during the life of this trade, during the time of flight of this missile, of this trade, it might be losing money. It's where it finishes, folks. Remember, it's almost like a field goal kick in football. This thing could start off shanking to the right as long as it comes through the uprights. I specifically said during the life of this trade, there's a good possibility that the market pulls back. What did we do? We put on a hedge yesterday with volatility that's making up for that potential loss. So this is how you trade, folks. One of these might be crushing it and one might be sucking, and then they swap around here. But we're going to get out of the long volatility trade most likely next week for a nice profit, and then the SPX trade that I have on will be looking good. So this is how you do it, man. It ain't rocket surgery. If I can do it, you know, a knuckle-dragging former fighter pilot and political science major, I guarantee you could do it. And we have a couple Marines here as well, but don't tell them I said that. All right, folks, I got to run. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you Monday night at 7 o'clock for our welcome aboard brief. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God